What's up guys, Fahan here. Welcome back to another ultimate review. This is the review of the Apache RR310. Huge thanks to TVS Singapore and Motorsport for loaning us this bike for the review.
Oh, aku terlepas clutch. Apa? Kena? Oh ya. Dulu kalau aku muda-muda bawa motor sport, confirm awek keliling pinggang tu. Awek keliling pinggang, perempuan kat belakang confirm je. You know, one thing I like about a TFT display is that even under bright sunlight, you can actually see this very clearly. I'm now gonna set it to urban mode. I'm going to reset this and I'm going to calculate how far can this bike go on a full tank. This bike has a capacity of 11 liters and an estimated fuel consumption of 33 kilometers per liter. That would technically on paper would bring about, if I'm not mistaken, 363 kilometers on a full tank. At 80 kilometers per hour, it's very tame, it's controllable. Once you reach 90, 100 kilometers, it will say like, come on bro, I got more power to this, man. I was surprised to see that somebody has already clocked 165 kilometers per hour. On paper, this bike can clock up to 170 kilometers per hour. Nirvana! When the lights out, it's just dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. No, I'm actually trying to find the words to describe my riding experience. I'm too awed by this bike. Maybe because this is the first time I'm riding a sports bike. And being a single cylinder, you can actually feel the vibration quite a lot when it's at higher speeds. Okay, just to let you guys know, this kind of line in Malaysia, one side is a broken line and the other one is a straight line. It means the side that has a straight line cannot overtake. This bike is actually very stable. I can just like lift off my hands and it will not wobble. See? Woo! He overtake me! I'm a 310cc bike! I'm at full throttle. I can only get 130 kilometers per hour on urban mode. Once I reach 130 kilometers per hour, you know, the bike starts to vibrate a lot, which means it does limits the power. Let's try this on rain mode. How much power can the rain mode give me? So same, even at full throttle, I twist my throttle all the way to the max. Rain mode and urban mode can only give me like 130 kilometers per hour. I'm gonna try out the sports mode. Wow, scary, scary. Seriously, I'm so scared. The vibration on this bike at such a high speed is really obvious, man. Of course, I mean, it's a racing bike, a single cylinder racing bike. The MT-03 is actually very smooth at high speeds. Okay, I reached Limang Kedai Toll. I have to slow down a bit. My hands are so numb because of all the vibration. Let's see how fast can I dare to ride. Scary already, sir. I've managed to clock 158 kilometers per hour. I have covered 478 kilometers. Not too bad, not too bad.
Alright guys, so I'm meeting Zar. I'm gonna switch over from the RTR 200 to the R310. Hopefully he doesn't miss that bike too much. So, how's the ride?
It's fun, man. I really had fun with this baby, man.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna love this.
Well, let's see.
Okay, let's get on it. Alright. the RR310. The TVS Apache RR310 was first launched in India in 2017, made in collaboration with TVS Motor Company and BMW Motorrad. It is TVS's first fully flat sports bike. RR stands for Racing Replica, with the intended use for on-track activities and racing applications. The Apache RR310 is also adopted by BMW, rebadged as the BMW G310RR with minor component changes. Engine is a co-development with TVS and BMW as used on the BMW G310 GS. A 312cc liquid-cooled reversed incline UHC, 4-stroke 4 valves, with electronic fuel injection and a 6-speed manual transmission. Right guys, so as usual, we're gonna start off with the running posture. Okay, so sitting on this bike right now, of course, it's a sports bike, so you're leaning forward quite a bit. Your legs are bent quite a bit. The full weight of my body is on my palms right now. The ideal sitting position is that, you know, some of the sport bike riders, they advise me to grip the tank and use my back instead of putting my full weight on the handlebars. Yeah, and also if you want to get more aggressive on the track or go faster, you can lean down like this, which is much more comfortable than I initially thought. So at the right height of 82 cm, I'm 165, as you can see, tiptoeing slightly, so no issues for me at all. And with a weight of 134 kg, super light, really comparable to a Class 2B bike, if I can say so. But Zar had some issues with this bike, considering that he's slightly shorter than me, so he's tiptoeing considerably and he had to straddle using the tip of his toes when riding it. But for me, I think no issues. Okay, so up next we come to the design. Okay, so according to TVS, at the press launch, they say that the overall design of the Apache RR310 is inspired from a shark. Has a nice and angular design with sharp lines, providing an aggressive stance. But at the same time, it's not too boxy like the CBR series. It's a nice streamlined, slim profile. Its overall length of 200 cm really gives it a nice sports tourer look, kind of similar to the Ducati Super Sport. It doesn't look too weird and radical, nor is it too outdated also. It's really a right balance between the current era of sports bikes without looking too futuristic, I must say. And this is my personal opinion, of course. Interesting to note that BMW did not tweak or change anything for their version of the G310RR, which really says something about the beauty and design and build quality of TVS's bikes. Right, so up next is a handlebar, a gauge cluster. For the handlebar itself, it's a clip-on handlebar, so you can adjust the angles to your liking and comfort. And also the handlebar controls, which is pretty unique, I must say, for this bike. Really, some of the things that I've seen is really the first time. To the left over here, the high beam, low beam is at this switch right here. I think I've seen this on the Pan Am. Hazard lights, the gauge cluster control buttons, which is dubbed as the control cube. Signal indicators, horn finished in maroon. And to the right over here, there's only one button, or two buttons I would say combined into one, which is the starter and the engine cut off. And up next is the gauge cluster, which is a 5-inch TFT display. I must say that riding in the daylight, you can see everything. And I also like that they separated certain warning lights and they did not put them in the TFT display. Instead, it's just their own dedicated warning light at the top and the bottom row of the TFT display, which really highlights them to you rather than putting it jumbling up in the TFT display. And also interesting to note, the TFT display, what I really love is that, as you can see, the startup animation over here. Okay, when you're changing the modes, right now, is for example, we are in urban mode. When we put the up button, it changes the modes. And now we are in rain mode, we are in sport and track. So the different modes, the TFT display shows a different graphic or display which highlights certain features like the RPM, the low fuel, the temperature in the track mode. And in urban mode, those features aren't really highlighted that much given that, you know, when you're riding on the street, all you care about is your speed, I would reckon. And there's really a lot of information and features that you can toggle with in the TFT display. And up next, we got riding features and text. So once again, for a Class 2A, it's really overkill, and TVS has really packed a lot of riding technology into the RR310. So just to name a few, okay, we got inverted fork, right by wire throttle, race tune super clutch. The race tune super clutch prevents sudden jerking while downshifting. Okay, dual channel ABS, Bluetooth connectivity, dubbed as Smart Connect, also available on the RTR200. And finally, for better illumination, TVS has provided bi-directional front LED headlights and LED tail lights. Unfortunately, the signal indicators are still using regular bulb. And yeah, riding modes. And speaking of riding modes, we got urban mode, rain mode, track mode, sport mode. Then trying out the different modes, there's really a difference between the modes itself. So it's not just some gimmicky kind of thing, you know. It really helps to provide the rider that option or versatility when you're riding between the road or the track. Right guys, so horn check for the TVS Apache RR310. Sounds very similar to the Apache 200. Kind of old school, kind of weird. And high pitched. So let's talk about the colors that it comes with. So currently that's being reviewed right now. This color is called Racing Red. There's also another color which just came out for the 3rd generation, which is Titanium Black lah. If you ask me, I prefer red over black anytime. So Motorsport is the official dealer for TVS bikes in Singapore, and they've informed me that machine price for the RR310 is 9,500. So if you ask me, comparing to like maybe Yamaha or Honda sports bikes with all the riding tech, the features, the design, the weight, performance, it's really a great deal if you ask me. They're providing 1 year unlimited mileage warranty or 12,000 kilometers in mileage, whichever comes first. They're covering for general parts including front and rear suspension, electrical components such as the rotor, the stator, the ignition coil, the rectifier, etc. And TVS Singapore also has a dedicated workshop and spare parts storage area located in Kampung Ubi. This is a shared workshop with Kymco, as Motorsport is the official dealer for Kymco bikes in Singapore. As you can see, Zar has reviewed the bike earlier, and this is strictly from my own point of view. I'm feeling pretty nervous, but hopefully it will be a good one for you guys. Okay, so my first impressions of the bike, I'm really surprised. Being TVS, I've underestimated the brand, and when I tried it out for myself, it's actually pretty awesome. It's really on par with those European brands, somewhat in between Japanese bikes like the Yamaha R3 for example, or the Honda CBR 400. But this one has riding modes and a lot of riding features that makes those bikes feel outdated honestly. Okay, so sitting on this bike right now, oh my god, 134 kg, super light, almost comparable to a class 2B bike, I would say. Tiptoeing slightly, but otherwise for my height, manageable for me. Okay, so starting up, pretty straightforward. Uses a key, twist the key, and you can see the animation of the TFT display coming to life. Currently we're in urban mode, just for your info. The starter button is together with the kill switch right below, kind of what Yamaha has been doing, but this time it's located at the bottom as opposed to the top of the handlebar control. So let's start up. Ooh. It has kind of throaty exhaust note, which you don't commonly hear it on other bikes. Yeah. But if you ask me, it's still okay lah. It doesn't sound that bad. Right, so first gear and we're off. So we are in urban mode. I actually tried the top speed in the urban mode. It limits the top speed to 132. I'm unable to go faster than that. But for sports mode and track mode, it can go way above 132. Which is pretty scary lah, and I didn't want to max out the bike as it's not mine. We're just gonna do the usual review lah. If you want top speed, maybe you can check out other reviews, but in the interest of safety and in the interest of not breaking the bike, we're not gonna max it out. And yeah, just leading to the corner just now, I have to say that the handling is super good. I mean, it's a very nimble, agile bike. When you first hop on it, there's no learning curve at all. It leans and corners wherever you point the bike to, and I really love the way the bike handles. Like when you're negotiating a corner like this, you feel as if you can go even lower. And there's a lot of grip, so I don't think you have any issues when you're getting on this bike for the very first time lah. And any class 2A riders who are adapting to, you know, a new bike for example, basically there's no learning curve for the RR310. Super good handling, I must say. It really proves itself as a track machine. And once again, track machine. TVS really wants to emphasize this for the RR310. It's really developed and built with racing in mind. I mean, in India, there's a single make series for the RR310. Even Arshad Rushdi, who is representing TVS in the championships, is using this bike, which is modified extensively but still pretty close to its street counterpart. Woo! And mind you, we are in urban mode, so yeah, the acceleration is slightly mellowed for urban mode, but we are gonna try out a track mode in a while or the sport mode in a while, which is basically you're unleashing the full power of this beast. And guys, don't underestimate this bike. This bike really has the potential. I'm having fun just negotiating the corners and bends with the RR310. Is really an awesome handling bike. I feel as if when I'm leaning into the corner, I can go even lower, and it's very grippy. It's so stable, and I feel confident just taking in the corner or bend. The dashboard, as you can see, 5-inch TFT display, which I'm not really too keen because it's horizontal like a cell phone. I wish they did it the usual way, but they're trying to be unique lah. And also the handlebar controls to control the gauge cluster, which they've dubbed it as the control cube. 4 buttons to toggle between the riding modes. Just press up. And right now I'm in rain mode, trying out the rain mode just now, and I feel as if the bike is mellowed down even more. The power is reduced considerably. And we're gonna switch to another mode, sport mode. Oh man, the throttle comes with dual channel ABS. Stopping power is definitely there lah. So you don't have to worry about slamming the brakes hard, putting the bike into a fishtail or something, because ABS really helps. But in sport mode and track mode, the ABS is considerably reduced, so it's not really that disruptive when you are on the track for on-track activities or racing with it. Sport mode, and as you can see, woo, man, guys. And once again, the dashboard, really, when you're looking at it, it has a nice premium quality. So we're in the motor box, the famous motor box in Bernini, which is this huge roundabout. The suspension is really good, really absorbs most of the road bumps and imperfections, so you're getting that nice, smooth and comfortable ride that is not that disruptive, I would say. Takes on the bumpy roads pretty well, especially here in Malaysia. Oh man, the handling is so good that it's pretty scary. You feel as if that you can go faster when you're negotiating this bend right here. And corner even lower, but honestly speaking, I'm not gonna do it lah. And this is the track mode. As you can see, the TFT display changes accordingly. Woo! Oh my gosh, it just wants to go in track mode, you see. Oh man, right by wire throttle, slipper clutch, which is race tuned, by the way. So you are getting the full package with this bike. I mean, it's in the name, the RR race replica. Alright, so right now we're gonna go into the highway. I'm not gonna push this bike too hard. I think in the Singapore market, being dominated by Yamahas and Honda sport bikes, I think this is a great option for our Class 2A riders. They're gonna love the myriad of features that come with this bike. I mean, most of the Class 2A sports bikes that I know don't even have TFT display, riding modes. It really gives a rider the options that they may not necessarily want but can have. With all these features, sooner or later they're definitely going to make use of it and say to themselves, hey, this is kind of useful. Oh, we're in track mode now. We're quickly accelerating to 120. Oh my gosh. And it's so stable, guys. I don't feel as if I'm losing control of the bike. Since we're in track mode, this guy just wants to go faster.
It doesn't like to be held back. I mean, if you ask me, for a class 2A, it's really not that bad. Whee! Having fun at the roundabouts. I did have a lot of fun with roundabouts with these TVS bikes, you know. They handle so well in the corners. But I have to say, at a higher RPM, the engine does vibrate quite a bit. So I think that is something that TVS maybe can improve on to reduce the vibrations. Oh man, I love taking in the corners with this bike. It just wants me to go faster and lower. Alright, so we're in the highway now. Finally, let's do this. Oh man, that's enough. 147 will do. I'm not gonna push it. I'm really not gonna push it. But at that top end, right, you can feel the bike really vibrating even more, which does raise some concern. Even though potentially either riders who have tested this bike out, they went above 150 and this bike held up pretty good. Not feeling the heat that much on my legs right now. Pretty cooling actually. Great handling, great pickup, great design. All of the modern riding tech that you expect on a 2022 era bike. And even BMW is using this exact bike for their version. What more can you ask? It's like you're getting a Continental Class 2A sports bike for value for money, you know. And I feel that with the support from Motorsport, you don't need to worry about parts, servicing, or after sales service. And TVS did really make an awesome bike. If you ask me, they really did build an awesome bike. I'm pretty surprised as well, honestly.
Alright guys, so we're back at the TVS Experience Center here in Kampung Ubi. Maybe we're going to give our final thoughts and conclusions about the RR310. So Zar, starting with you, overall, what do you think of the bike?
Just one word, it's fun. Super fun. I had so much fun riding that bike. And then when I realized that when I switch on the bike, right, I already saw somebody clock 164 kilometers.
Crazy, right? Crazy, right?
Yeah.
I don't even dare to go above 140 with the bike, sir. And I know that the bike can go further 140.
And then I did manage to come close to that, 158.
So you're so daring, Zar. I don't dare, you know. I scared, I really scared, sir. But even at that high speed, I have to say it's very stable.
There are times that I left home late. I was late for work, sir. Then I was like,
then you whack the bike,
I whacked the bike. I was like, I did work just in time.
All thanks to TVS, So overall, for me, I have to say I'm pretty impressed with the technology that comes with the bike. I mean, riding modes, TFT display, race tune super clutch. It's very smooth, by the way. Overall, I like the design. It's like very different from other sport bike. Like, you know, the CBR, the Yamaha R3, all like very angular, very sharp lines. This is somewhat a combination of both. Like it's not too aggressive, but yet it's like pleasant looking to the eye. It's a really lawa. It's a nice bike.
And the RR310 is not a very hot.
Yeah. I agree.
So not very hot because I commute every day at the JB checkpoint, right? Even with the engine and slowly inching myself towards the immigration booth, the engine heat does not bother me.
Then I also got one instance I bring that bike out, then a Malaysian rider actually saw it. Then he asked, "Hey, what's this? Oh, nice, want to buy." Yeah, I tell him it's a TVS lah. And he disappointed it's not in Malaysia.
I mean, at first glance, people may mistaken it for the Ducati Sportster. Right?
Yes, correct. Even BMW themselves is also impressed with the bike that they never change a single thing. That really says something about the build quality and how the bike generally is lah.
Yeah, for a premium brand like BMW to approach an Indian company to produce a bike for the smaller cc range, right? It does speaks volume. And they just change the badge only.
They change the badge, and then it's like $10,000 more.
But I did ask the guys at Motorsport, you know, if I were to be riding a GS310 or a RR310, I did ask them, will they be able to repair?
That was the answer from them.
And then they said, not everything they can do. Because there are certain parts that has been tuned for BMW. General parts probably can, but for the engine wise, there is one or two things that they are not able to do.
Oh, okay, I understand. Maybe BMW locked the thing. Possibly lah. Yeah, and also not to forget, other than being a sport bike, it's also a track-oriented machine. Really, certain things on the bike is pretty different from any like sports bike lah, like the R3 for example. The clutch is so smooth, like when you change gear, it feels as if like there's a quick shifter on it. I think overall, if you're looking for something unique, something different other than R3, CBR, you can consider TVS I feel.
Considering that the Singapore market is dominated by Hondas and Yamahas, most of the other brands are being like muted in the background. So I think hopefully with this video, it will bring attention to the brand TVS. Check it out, you guys just check it out.
Yeah, can always come here, and request for a test ride, and ride around. Once again, thank you to Motorsport and TVS for loaning us the bikes for the review. I think you're hearing it from the both of us rather than me. Zar finally is in ultimate review.
Finally, I can get to ride a Class 2A bike. Class 2 coming soon.
And yeah, that's it for the vlog. We will see you guys in the next one.